Hello everyone, my name is Neerav and today we'll be discussing about material used in bicycle frameworks. So there are mainly three types of materials: steel, aluminium and carbon fiber. Apart from these three types, there is another fourth type which is titanium. Titanium is very expensive and rare to find, especially in India. These are very lightweight and have a very high loading capacity. That is why these are used in especially touring bikes. Loading capacity of titanium bikes are approx 180 kg, including driver's weight. So first is steel. So disadvantages of steel is the steel bikes frameworks is very hard to mold and they have no shock absorber. They have no shock absorber. So for longer rides, you will have hits. So the advantage of steel is that it is easy to repair and very low cost. Second is aluminium. Aluminium are low density. Aluminium are low density and they are very easy to mold by the process of hydrofoaming. The third are the carbon fiber. The carbon fiber is the most expensive among these three and they are most easy to mold by carbon sheets. They are most easy to mold by carbon sheets. Now let's talk about the geometry of bike frame. So now we're talking about bicycle frame geometry. So before understanding geometry, let's understand the frame parts. So this is the top tube, this is the bottom tube, here is the seat tube, the seat tray, chain tray and the bottom bracket. From here is the wheel base and the head angle which determines the turns and descents of the bicycle. The seat tube mostly determines the length of and size of the bicycle. The wheelbase is longer and the head tube angle is generally slacker, resulting in more.
Hello, I am Aditya and today I will be explaining about the operations of bicycle. So a bicycle is an efficient and eco-friendly device which is powered by human efforts. The basic operations of bicycle are: the first one is pedaling, the second one is steering, the third one is gearing, the fourth one is braking, and the fifth one is balancing. So going towards the first one, pedaling, a rider uses their legs to turn the pedals, which in turn rotates the chain and drives the wheels. For second one, steering, the handlebars are used to steer the front wheel in the desired direction. For braking, the rider can apply pressure to brakes to slow down or slopes. There are two types of brakes on a bicycle: ram brakes and disc brakes. And for shifting gears, the cycles have a knobs. Bicycles have multiple gears that allows the rider to adjust the resistance and speed of pendulum. The rider can shift gears using the gear shifters located in the handlebars. And for balancing, the rider must maintain balance while riding the bike by shifting adjustment and handlebars. As for operations, there's a basic questions which comes into our mind is what will be demand load at pedal when bike is stationary. There will be no demand load at a pedal when the bike is stationary, as there is no movement or resistance overcomes. The demand load on the pedal will only present when the rider is actively pedaling and propelling the bike forward. For the second question, what will be the effort needed to exert on pedal when the bike is in motion? So the effort needed to exert on the pedal when the bike is in motion will depend on the bike, the weight of the rider and the gear ratio. Generally, the faster the bike is moving, the more efforts are needed to maintain the speed or increase the speed. The gear ratio can also affect the efforts needed, as lower gears as lower gears will require more efforts, but more torque will be which provides more torque, while the higher gear will require less efforts require less efforts and help to increase the speed.
Now we can see the ergonomics of the bicycle. Ergonomics is the study of designing equipment and devices that fit the human body and its cognitive abilities. When it comes to bicycles, ergonomics is essential to ensure comfort, safety, and efficiency for the rider. First one is the frame size. The frame size of the bicycle must match the rider's body size to ensure the perfect fit and comfort. An incorrectly sized frame can lead to discomfort and even injury. Second is the handlebar position. The handlebar should be positioned in a way that allows the rider to maintain comfortable and natural posture. The height, width, and angle of the handlebars can be adjusted to achieve the optimal position. Third one is the saddle position. The saddle or a bike seat should be positioned in a way that allows the rider to maintain proper posture and support the body's weight. The height, angle, and the forward position of the saddle can be adjusted to achieve the optimal position. Next one is the pedal position. The position of the pedals should be set in a way that allows the riders to pedal efficiently without causing any strain on the joints or muscles. The proper foot placement and pedal stroke are critical to preventing injuries. Next one is the brake and gear control. The brake and gear control should be positioned in a way that allows the riders to access them easily and comfortably. The position and type of controls can be adjusted to suit the rider's needs. Overall, the proper bicycle ergonomics can help prevent discomfort and injury and ensure an enjoyable and safe riding experience. It is always recommended to consult a professional bike fitter to ensure proper ergonomics when purchasing a new bicycle. Thank you.